So we're going to go over the Knitting Chart Maker by Awesome Applications. So when you first open the pattern, or first open the chart, you'll just have a random chart selected here. So the first thing you want to do is we're going to go over some navigation tools. You're going to select the toolbar and you're going to hit New Chart. And you need to select the number of rows that you'll need for your chart, the height, and the number of columns. You do need to select the largest number of columns to make it so that you have room for all of your stitches if your stitch pattern, if you'll have increases and decreases throughout your pattern. So we'll go ahead and you just toggle the buttons here. You can go up to a total of 50 on both of these and as little as 1 on both of these. But we'll stick with 5 rows and 12 columns. So we'll go ahead and open it up. Now you can pinch and zoom to open up a larger workspace. All of your chart symbols are going to be over here on the left hand side, and you press down and hold and it will tell you at the bottom what that chart symbol means, and it will have the chart on the odd side first and the even side second if there are 2 possibilities for it. So on this stitch, the dot will represent a purl 1 on the odd side and a knit 1 on the even side. So the first thing we do is we start with a cast on, so we'll find the C. That tells us that's a cast on stitch. In order to use the stitch, you do need to make sure it's highlighted in blue, and you can use this paintbrush function to allow you to use it over multiple grid squares. So we'll go ahead and we're going to cast on 9 stitches. Anytime you don't have a stitch, you do need to enter a black box in, because otherwise it will assume actually that it's the blank box symbol, which is knit 1 or purl 1. So it's actually a blank box does not mean no stitch. So you do need to add the black boxes in for your when you export. So the next stitch patterns that we're going to enter in, we're going to start from the even side, because this considers we're knitting flat, which means you start over here on the right to left for your odd numbers and left to right for even. So we'll go ahead and we'll start again with no stitches, and then we're going to do a knit 1 purl 1 ribbing. So we'll go ahead and select the dot and we just do every other stitch for those. Then the next row we'll go ahead and skip to some increases. So we're going to find an increase, so we'll select this, which is to knit into the front and the back of the stitch. We'll start that at the beginning and do that at the end of the row, and you will still have 3 blank stitches. Now for this row, coming back the opposite way, you've increased by 2 stitches, so you do need to add that room. So we're just going to have no stitch here. Here's your 2 stitches you've increased, and we'll go ahead and just knit that row across. Okay, so we'll just now see, I've made a mistake. The thing what you want to do when you make a mistake is you can hit the undo arrow button up at the top. Okay, or if you meant to keep that, you would do the forward, and that will allow you to do forward. But we didn't actually want to put those, so we can just also tap them. So there's 2 ways to delete them. The next thing you want to do, like I said, is we are going to go ahead and just enter the stitch pattern in all the way across. Now we're going to bind off for the top, and we're going to find the bind off stitch, and we found it, and we're going to go ahead and just bind off these stitches. Be sure it's highlighted in blue, and then there's no stitch there at the end, so we'll go ahead and just select that. So now we've saved now we've got our chart. We need to save it. So we're going to hit the gear, and you're going to enter in some notes about this. So this might, for example, be a chart pattern that you're going to repeat every 10 rows. You know, for example, or whatever notes that you might want to enter. You can, for standard knitting patterns. But we'll go ahead and just hit save. Okay, and that just saves the notes. Now we want to save the actual pattern, so we hit the gearbox or the gear again, and we're going to go down here into the save. Okay, you're going to add a description, say yes, and this allows you to have a name for the actual chart, which we can enter in. We'll call this the Wendy chart. But then we also want to add a description. This is actually a sock pattern, so we'll put sock. And you might want to put who it's for, mom. And you can also enter your needle size here. You could also put it in your notes. And then we're going to go ahead and hit save. And now your chart is saved. So we'll go ahead and we'll open up a new chart. Okay. Now you want to go back in and find the chart that you've saved. So we're going to hit the gear again, and we're going to select open. This will allow you to find your chart over here. Now we've got Wendy here, and it opens it up in your view finder, and then you just select open, and now you've got your Wendy chart again, which you can work from. If you want to delete a chart that you've already entered in here, we can just exit out of this chart. So if you go into your open menu again, and we find Wendy here on the left hand side, say we want to delete this, there is a delete button above your view, and you can just delete the pattern this way.